Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri and today we are in the garage and you may notice some things look a little different. It's not so, one might say messy, disorganized, what have you. I'm organizing the garage and don't worry, you'll get to see it on Friday. But in organizing the garage, I have always wanted to make myself a workbench. I've just always wanted one forever and ever and ever, and I've never purchased one, I've never made one, nothing. Really, part of the reason I've never actually purchased one is because they're kind of expensive, and I just don't have the money for that. I mean, and you guys have seen me 80 million times. Rather than spend all that money on a workbench, I would just as soon just get on the floor and saw shit. Hence why I've never had a workbench. So I went online and I just looked up workbench prices, and the cheapest one I could find was at the Home Depot, a 50-inch by 20-inch acacia wood workbench with built-in wooden vise and 330 weight capacity. Now the vise is nice, but it is $169. That is on sale. It's technically $199. So $200 doesn't seem that bad for a workbench of that size. However, you know me, and I'm like, well, I have a bunch of scrap wood, so what if I could just make myself one? Then I was like, well, even better, what if I could find some sort of a table that could work at like a thrift store? And guess what? I did. I went to the thrift store and I found a 32 wide by 60 inch long, pretty cheap table, but it only cost me, what's the price tag say? $24.95. Now, this table does have some characteristics that I am not going to use. It actually has like 2 fold down sides. I'm not going to use that because I want my table to be a table the entire time. But I thought for 25 bucks and some scrap wood, that's way better than $169 or $200 for a table that is bigger than the one I could buy. And it's not going to take that long. I am using all scrap wood. Aside from the table, I did have to go out and buy casters because I want this table to be able to roll up against the wall when I'm not using it and roll out when I am using it. Now, air conditioner just went out. Now, let me just tell you, casters are not cheap. I spent more on casters than I did on the table. So I got these 2.5 inch, pretty heavy duty casters. The wheels spin all around. There's 4 holes to mount to your wood. I got 2 without brakes and then 2 with brakes, so that when I roll it out and I'm working on it, I can put the brakes on and then the table's not rolling all over the place. But let me just tell you, the 2 with the brakes cost $8.99 each. So for 2 with brakes, I spent $17.98. The 2 without the brakes are $6.99. So for 2 of those, I spent $13.98, bringing my total for 4 casters. I was trying to do the math while I was looking at it. Let's round up. So $32 for 4 casters when this ginormous table at the thrift store cost me $25. Something seems a little bit off. But yeah, only money I spent was on these and the table. Everything else I'm using scrap wood. So let's go over the plans. Well, first, I gotta show you this amazing table, and then we'll go over my plans to make it the best workbench ever. So, here she is, my $25 workbench. Now, it is just cheapy, like melamine. Is that what that's called? You know, it's just cheapy. It's just cheap. It's not real wood by any means, but that's fine. What I like about the melamine is it's really smooth, so the top of it is really, really smooth, which is nice. Like, what if I want to come out here and draw and I need a smooth surface? I've got one now. So, as I was telling you, the interesting thing about this table and why I think it was priced at $25 is because of the fold down feature. So these legs, now it does already have little cheapy black casters on each of the legs and in the center. I'm gonna leave the ones in the center, but I'm gonna remove these leg situations. There's only one leg on this side and one leg on that side, and they fold in, and then this drops down. And then it folds up to just a nice little space-saving rectangle. But like I said, I'm not gonna use that function of this table. I want it to be up and out all the time, 24/7. But this is like so chintzy, and again, the casters, not awesome. I mean, you probably have better casters on your rolly suitcase, I'll tell you that right now. So what I wanna do, take this off of this side and on that side. I'm going to use some scrap 4x4 that I have to make 4 legs for each of the corners that I can mount my casters, the ones I purchased, the heavy duty ones, to each of those 4 legs. Then I want to be able to put a shelf on either side. There's like a cubby hole right here, which I thought would be cute for like extension cords, whatever. But I want to put a shelf on this side and a shelf on that side so that I can house my table saw and my chop saw, or most people call it a miter saw. I call it a chop saw. But big tool on this side, big tool on this side. And then I thought what might be fun to have an extension cord in here with maybe like a power strip mounted. That way I only have to plug in one extension cord and I can plug in all my tools to the power strip. Now I didn't go out and buy a power strip just yet because that idea just came to me like right now. I did pre-cut 4x4 legs, and I also pre-cut my shelves for the bottom out of scrap wood that I have. So all I did to do that was measure from the inside here to the floor, and then I minused off how tall the casters were, and I got 31 inches. So up here, those are my 4x4s, minus this one, because I didn't have enough wood in 4x4s to make 4 legs. I only had enough wood to make 3. Tim Gunn moment, make it work. I just put some wood together.
Impressive.
Cut it, glued it, and screwed it, and now I have my 4th 4x4. While it doesn't look super pretty, I don't really care. It doesn't need to be pretty. It's a workbench. So I have those cut. I have my shelves cut. So all I really need to do is take this apart. It's a little loose up in here, so I'm hoping I can just like hammer that in and it'll fix itself. There are hinges here to make the table sides go down. I'm just gonna leave those, not a big deal to me. I am just gonna remove these and then screw on 4 4x4 legs. Yeah, let's take this table apart and start to put it back together. Upon further investigation, it seems like this whole situation here is just held together by 2 hinges here and here, top and bottom. So I just need to remove those hinges on this side and then on that side. Now I am gonna try to save this wood here in case I do need to reinforce anything, but I might not, I don't know. Who knows? We're not gonna really know. This is all just a brainchild. It's just we're taking a piece of furniture that we found at a thrift store and turning it into something that we need. So while I have the idea of put 4 legs and 2 shelves, I don't know what we're gonna stumble across as we get to work. So let's take this puppy apart. Oh, ow, it didn't really hurt. I just said ow. Okay, so that was easy enough. And you can see what I mean about these cheap little plastic casters. Oh, they literally just pull out. So, you know, I'm not gonna throw them away. Maybe in the future, I'll build a lightweight project that needs some casters. Who knows? And I'm also going to save this. It looks like they didn't even wood glue it. They just put this together with some dowels. So I'm gonna put these off to the side. And now I wanna take my 4x4s and I wanna screw it to the very, very corner of my table. Now, you're probably thinking, Sheri, you cut those legs too short. I know, it looks like that, but I didn't do that. Don't forget, the bottom of these legs are going to have casters on them, which is going to raise this up level. I'm gonna shim some wood underneath this leg to get it level, and then I'm going to pre-drill through the top of this table and then screw my leg into each of the 4 corners. I contemplated wood gluing and screwing, but then I thought, you know, if I need to move, it'd be much easier if I could just unscrew the legs, fold this back down, and it'd be much easier to move that way. So I'm not gonna wood glue any of this. I'm just gonna hold it together with some screws. So yeah, pre-drill and screw, and then I'll have my 4 legs. It's just that easy. Okay, now that I have all 4 legs on, I need to flip this table on its side and mount the casters. So the casters didn't come with any screws, and these holes are pretty large. I'm just realizing that, and I don't know if I have any screw heads that won't just slip right through that. So I'm gonna have to find 8 screws that will fit in here, or I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy some, which I don't wanna do. Awesome. Let me see what I can find, and then we'll flip this on its side and we'll get these mounted. Okay, I was able to find some screws. They're all different, but I found some that will stay in these holes. So we're good there. However, you know, when I was purchasing these, I was just kind of guessing. And now that I'm holding this up to this, the holes are just gonna be on the very edge of the wood, and I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like the screw's gonna go right on the very edge of the wood. I mean, we'll give it a shot, but I might have to take these back. I will pre-drill, and then we'll screw in 2 of the screws and we'll see what happens, because my mark is right here and the edge of the wood is like right next to it. But let's give it a shot. I'm gonna drill as straight as I can. All right, and then everybody cross your fingers. I have some really long screws and then some shorter screws. I was hoping to find screws about this length, but no, I didn't have a bunch of those, so I have some screws that are really, really, really long, which are gonna be a pain in the ass to drill, but you gotta work with what you got. I'm not gonna screw it in super duper duper tight in case I need to make an adjustment. Now let's get the bottom one in. So far, so good. Nothing's coming out of the edge of my wood here, so I think these might work. All right, I think I can make this work, you guys. I think I can Tim gun this to work. Okay, I got all the casters on. I ended up flipping the table upside down so I could have more pressure. Just ignore this. I had a little accident. I split the wood and then I stripped the screw. So I just took my sledgehammer and hammered it in. Tim gun. Now that we have the casters on, I have cut some support pieces that I'm going to screw into my legs, which are also going to act as my shelf brackets. So I have a little 1x1 scrap for closer to the bottom, and then I have this little guy for right at the top. I'm just going to drill and screw those in, and then we can flip it over and fit our shelves. Okay, I have my bottom ones in, but for the top ones, I want to make it level with the top edge of this right here. I got my long level, and I want to put this here and get that level there, because this bracket and this is what I'm going to attach my shelf to, so I want to make sure they're level. I'm going to draw a line on this one and on that one, and then I'll hold this and I'll level this before I screw it in. So I'm gonna hold this up to here and get this level. Yep. Then I'm gonna balancing act this piece here, get that level, and draw my line. Now that I have that, I can take my little level and make sure that when I screw this in, it is level against itself. Drill a drill hole. Then I'm gonna get 1 screw in there because I need more hands and I don't have any more hands. So I just screwed it a little bit into this wood so I don't have to try to hang on to it. And then I'm gonna line it up and try to drill. Okay, it's definitely into this leg, not awesomely and not all the way, because I do want it to have some movement so that I can go to the other side with my level and level everything this way and this way. Everybody level? Yep, everybody's level. Now, I'm going to pull on this leg out a little bit because it's not going straight up and down as I make sure I'm level here. Yay. Okay. Yay. Yay. Everybody level? Everybody's still level. So now I'm going to drill my second hole. And put in my second screw on this side and then go finish that side. Yay. These brackets will not only support our shelves, but they will help our legs be more stable because I'm going to be moving it in and out and in and out and in and out. So I want these to be really sturdy. Look guys, I did it! Okay, I mean we could be done right now if we didn't want shelves on the bottom to store tools. And then I also have another thing that I want to do too. But basically, we've got a table and it rolls and it's super sturdy. But I want to put shelves along the bottom here. Hence why I took the time to put these brackets in. I already cut some shelves from some scrap wood that I had. So in a wonderful, perfect world, everything will just line right in. And what's really cool about this scrap wood, it was already bracketed together. So I basically took two pieces, cut them so that they're the right width and the right length. So my plan is I just need to rest these on this lip here. And I'm using these little boards too. And we have a shelf. And my measurements are perfect. Because the inside piece of this that the shelf is resting on is really, really, really thin, I'm not certain I want to screw into that, but I kind of do. But I'm more concerned with, I'm just going to put a couple screws here on my thicker board, and that way these shelves won't move. Boop, boop, boop. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Look, shelves. And oh, this one's holding my drill right now. And the shelves made it even more sturdy. Now this shelf side, the boards were like a little bit bowy. I screwed this end down, but this end decided it didn't want to touch this inside piece. So I very carefully drilled and put some screws on this side. Now, I'm sure you're saying, Sheri, this looks pretty done. Props to you. You're amazing. You just built a workbench out of a $25 thrifted table. And I would say to you, thanks, you're right. However, I'm not done yet. Not done twofold. I do want to do the idea of a power strip here so that I can plug a power strip into an extension cord that will sit in this cubby here, that I can just plug in the extension cord but then have power for all of my tools here rather than running 80 million extension cords. But before I do that, because I don't have a power strip, I have to go to the store and get one. I did find in my garage clean out this white pegboard. And so what I was thinking, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but, oh, let me spin my table around since it's on wheels. So what I'm thinking, isn't that amazing? I mean, come on. I'm thinking on either end of the table, on these inside strips here and here, I want to mount pegboard. Now, it's not wide enough to go across this way, so I am gonna have to do it up and down like this. I have two that are the exact same width. It may or may not look silly, but wouldn't it be great to have like pegboard on either side so you could hang like levels, a staple gun, or whatever? I don't like that it is not as wide as from here to here, but what are you gonna do? So all I need to do is figure out the distance from here to here, cut these down to size, and then I think I'm just gonna like quickly nail gun them in, maybe, or I may just screw them in with some really short screws, which is probably what I'm gonna do because I don't feel like getting my air compressor out. Looks like my top to bottom distance is 24 1/4. So I'm gonna cut both of these on my circular saw, and then we're gonna mount them in, and then we will be done. Pegboard is cut. It was super easy. So now all I have to do is screw it onto the brackets. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's not a big of a deal. That gap and that gap looks pretty good. So I'm gonna use the holes provided in the pegboard. I should probably put the brakes on because as I push on it, it's gonna roll. All right, brakes are on, brakes are on. Hold the pegboard up with my knee, get my drill this puppy in. Yay. All right, just a couple more screws on this side, couple more screws on the other side, and the workbench is done. It's done. We did it. It's done. Are you ready for the final reveal? Here it comes. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh my God. I feel like Vanna White turning a letter. And then look, it's out in the middle of the garage when I'm working on a project, but then when I'm not, I can just roll it right back here, just like this. How cute is that? Okay, now, I know I did the final reveal, but obviously there are some things that I want to do to this table before it is officially final done. One, the power strip. I'm for sure doing that. I'm gonna go pick up a power strip like here in a minute. Number two, I gotta organize the ends of my pegboard, but I feel like that's gonna happen when I finish up doing the garage organization. So don't worry, set your alarms for Friday because you'll see this totally done, the pegboard's organized, as well as you'll see the garage situation. You guys are gonna die when you see everything. So, yay! Workbench, done. Now, I know some of you guys, you just watch my videos because you love the sound of my sweet honey voice. But I'm hoping that while you may not need a workbench, maybe you need a new crafting table, sewing table, just a storage area for in your house or in your garage or in your backyard. What I'm hoping that this project did is inspire you to maybe take a look at the thrift store and reimagine the pieces that you are finding for super cheap. When you find like a little piece of this, a little bit of that, can you morph it into something that could be useful to you and won't cost a shit ton of money? When you're thinking like, I really hate doing my Cricut projects on the ground, or I don't want to clear off my dining room table every time I'm trying to like do a craft. It would be really cool if I had a little small folding craft table. Well, go look around at your local thrift stores and see if there's anything that you can buy for super cheap. Number one, you're reusing, repurposing, recycling. Number two, you're saving money because you're turning someone else's trash into your treasure and making it be exactly perfect for you. Now, I know you're also probably thinking, well, if I go there and I find something like I don't have the tools to cut legs, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. You know, as well as I do, that if you need wood cut, you can get it cut for free at your local big box home improvement store. So I don't want to hear, I don't have a saw, I can't cut my wood, because you can, and you can get it cut for free. So I'm just saying, be inspired, think outside the box. Don't go and purchase a $200+ workbench if you can make one from a thrift sale find for $25 and some casters. I mean, literally all my wood was scrap wood. Pegboard, scrap. Everything about it, scrap. Could I go back in and like paint this all cute and white to make it match this? Of course I could. Am I going to? No. It's a workbench. It's gonna get dirty and grimy and it's gonna stay out in the garage. I'm not gonna waste my time painting it to make it look cute. It's just not gonna happen. I'm leaving it exactly how it is. But for the price of the table, $25, and what I say, we spent like $32, $34 on the casters, $50-ish, $55, and some scrap wood I just had laying on the side of my house. I have an amazing 32-inch wide by 60-inch long workbench with shelves and pegboard. I guarantee you're not going to find that anywhere for 55 bucks. I'm just saying, be inspired. Go look at the thrift stores. What piece of furniture could you turn into something else that you could use simply by reimagining it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.